Hello cuties. It's time for the June stats and also picking the next 8 Cauldron Prompts for Q3. We're there. Oh my goodness! So we're gonna go over the books I read in June, the stats, the haul of June, and then we will take a little review at the first half of the year and our Cauldron Prompt situation. So buckle up, let's get going. This month I actually read the least amount of books thus far, which you might scoff at because I still read 19 books. But this is the first month that I didn't read above 20, and I'm disappointed in myself, to be honest. Yeah. Granted, I did read a bunch of chonkers, but still, disappointment. That's all I can offer myself at this point. First off, we did a 23 of 2023, and that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I finally got to read this book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do still think I like Book Lovers more, but I still gave this a 4.5. It's very fun, very relatable. I really like it. There's some, you know, stupid tropes that happen in here, as there's a lot with a lot of romance stuff that I think could have been handled better, but whatever, it's fine. I did just really enjoy this. I don't have much else to say other than this was a little fun read. You know, if you need something a little pick-me-up, read one of Emily Henry books, because they're pick-me-ups. Next up, we read graphic novel continuation of my obsession right now, and that is Lore Olympus Volume 3. And we're gonna skip and jump ahead because I also read Volume 4, and I just love these so much. I love this story. It's great, and it makes me very happy. And then I immediately went and finished the rest of what's available of the webcomic, and now I have to wait every single week for one more chapter. And it's not fair. But if you want some fun takes on mythology, not 100% accurate, obviously, it's just kind of fun retelling of Hades and Persephone. It explores a lot of themes. A big theme is sexual assault. There's a lot of themes with depression and stuff. So it just kind of humanizes the gods a lot more, even though they're all like pink and purple and red and blue and yellow, and they're all Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat's coat colors. That's what they are. I love this series oh so much. Between those two, because I had to wait 2 days for the Volume 4 to come out, we read The Rakshas's Bride by Susanna Rowantree. This is a little bit of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I did actually really enjoy this. It's fun, it's very quick, and I just liked it. I thought it had a really good way of kind of twisting the tale a little bit, and it was just a fun, if you need a really quick read and you like a little bit of a Beauty and the Beast, but if you want more of an Indian retelling of it, go for that. Then we read another 23 of 2023, and that is The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Schreffer. I went into this thinking it was sort of something else, and it was even better than I could have imagined. I don't know, I'm very singy today. I did give this 4.5 stars because I want more. I want so much more. I want to know what happens next. I need to know what happens next. But it's a very interesting take on, you know, space travel, AI, and relationships, and survival, and it's just wild. The twist in this I did not see coming. That was a wild twist, and I was like, what? The whole time I was reading it. So if you want a really good twist in a story, then we read a cute book, and that is Among the Beast and Briars by Ashley Poston. This is my Owl Crate edition of it, and again, very cute, very fun. It did lose me a little bit, but I think that was more of a me just having so much going on this month that I wasn't able to give it the attention it probably deserved. But what I loved the banter a lot. I didn't actually expect this to have a romance based on the description of the book, but it does, and that made me very happy, and I think it was very cute. I loved a lot of the characters in this. Again, it's a very quick read. It's only like an 8-hour audiobook, so if you read at double speed like me, it only takes 4 hours to read. But it's very cute. I love the bear in this a lot. The bear is great. There's some very interesting magic that happens in this as well. I love it. Love that. Then we got to another continuation of the series, and that is Enna Burning by Shannon Hale. And I currently think this is my favorite in the books of Bayern, even though I've only read 2 of them. I loved Enna's story. I thought this was really, really good. I did give this 4.5 stars because I did want I just want one conversation, you know, one conversation is always lacking in terms of the relationships of people. So between Enna and what's her name? The girl in the first book. Oh my God, why am I stupid? I would have liked a conversation between them, and I would have liked a conversation between Enna and the sort of male love interest. I needed one more where we could really pour out our feelings. Let's talk about our feelings, people. And I didn't get that, but I did get a wonderful, fun time. It was heartbreaking as well. It did a lot of deaths that I did not expect. Like, these books really surprised me with how dark they kind of get, because they don't feel like they're going to be dark. They feel like old school YA where everything is bright and happy and conflict is over like that, and that's just not the case with these books. Conflict lasts a long time. The stakes are very high, so don't sleep on these books if you haven't already read them, because I definitely did. Next up is a bad book. This is the book that I gave 1 star, and I don't even know how it really ended up on my TBR. It's been on my like Kindle forever, and I probably just downloaded it a bunch when I was first into Kindle Unlimited stuff, and that is Beware the Violet by Maria Vermasoglu. I think I said that last name right. This is terrible. This was so poorly written. Its timeline is all over the place. The characters are all one-dimensional. It's offensively written bad. Like, not offensive, but like, it's so bad that I'm like, how do people not get an editor? Because if there's an editor, they need to get their money back, because this was not edited. It was not developed at all. It was just, it felt like something I would have written when I was like 12. It's that bad. It's so bad, and I can't recommend it. It was really, really bad, and I don't understand anyone who gives it a higher rating than 1, to be honest, because I'm like, I'm maybe a 2. I can see people giving it a 2, but anything higher than that, I'm just like, I don't trust your taste, or I know you are a friend of the author and you don't want to hurt their feelings. That's what I feel like that book is, and I can't recommend it. What I can recommend, A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. This was the chonker. It took me so long. It took me like 10 days to get through this baby, but it was worth every second of it. I loved this. I think I love this more than Priory of the Orange Tree, and I loved Priory of the Orange Tree, but I loved this. The characters in this are so interesting. I love these characters so much. Woo! The story itself is just so good. It is chunky. It does take a lot of brain power, so if you're not into like super high fantasy stuff, you probably won't like this. I get why people don't like Priory. That's okay, but it's right up my alley, and I love it. Amazing. I did give this 5 stars. It gave me everything I wanted. I got those conversations I always crave. I got to relish the endings. I just absolutely love this, and it looks like on Goodreads that there is going to be another book in The Roots of Chaos, which is the series title, and I will wait forever because I know it takes a long time to write a book this big. But oh my God, I'm so jealous of Samantha Shannon. I'm envious, excuse me, let me use the correct term, envious of Samantha Shannon and her ability between the Bone Season series and this. Like, damn girl, work. A disappointment, however. I just don't think this is, this author is for me. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. And that is Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This was my first foray into Victoria Aveyard, and I just didn't connect. I connected a couple times, but I just kept losing it. I couldn't follow along. I cared about like one character, but overall it just kind of fell flat to me, and I just wasn't invested, which is fun. Like look, these are both high fantasy, big cast, multiple POV stories. I loved this one, and I just didn't connect with this one. So I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have read this right after that book, because I might have been comparing it to that level. But overall, just wasn't for me. Kind of disappointed. Not going to continue the series. it's not, I don't think Victoria Aveyard is an author for me. I think she's hilarious on, like, I follow her on Instagram, and I think she has a lot of funny shorts and stuff, but I just don't think her writing style and I mesh. All right, next up, you guys saw the vlog, but I did read The Princess Bride. You saw how that happened. I'm not gonna talk about this one. I did give this 3.5 stars. It was a disappointment. The movie's better. Just go watch the movie. All right, next up we have a continuation of the series. I am now completely up to date on this series. The next book doesn't come out till December, and that is Portrait of a Scotsman by Evie Dunmore. This is these, not Regency, but suffragist movement in Britain. I forget when that actually is, but there is a character who accidentally kind of finds herself getting married to this brogue of a man who is kind of dark and devious and stuff, and she's been, in the past books, she's been this very lighthearted, kind of spoiled, pampered rich girl, but very fun, and we all love her. And she goes through such a transformation in this. So I did see like some complaints about how people read this book, and I totally understand those complaints. I just disagree that people say that Hattie never learned, and I disagree that she never learned. She did. She got exposed to a lot of her own bias, and she was exposed to a lot of her own privilege, and I do think she learned from that. It's not a one and done thing when people are learning to challenge their own, you know, upbringings and how their worldviews were set up for them growing up. And I think Hattie does this amazing job of actually going through the motions and recognizing her own prejudices and biases and worldviews. So I really like that. I do think also that, what's his face? Lucien. Lucien also has a bit of a shift because he's out for revenge, you know, and he just can't quell that revenge, even though, you know, he's slowly falling in love with Hattie, and there's just a lot of strife between them. And I loved how the ending went about. Some people complained, were like, well, why did we say that we're gone for this many months and then it's all here? And I'm like, that's because it's the ending of the book. And if you went through those months, this book would have been the same size as Day of Fallen Night. I think that was perfectly done because the story is about them in general. It's both their stories. It's not just Hattie's story. So I'm enjoying this series more than I thought I would. I do think sometimes the steamy stuff is unnecessary, but you know, that's just me being two ace. If you like the steamy stuff, there you go. Next up, we read another sequel, and that is The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is the second book in the Cemetery of Forgotten Books. Each of these can really stand alone. I do recommend reading Shadow of the Wind first, and then you can kind of pick and choose, I think, for the rest of them. I liked this one more than Shadow of the Wind, to be honest. I did give this 4 stars. There is this weird, like, gratuitous sex scene in the beginning that I'm like, I don't know why we needed this. Like, it's kind of the style that Zafón writes, with having these kind of, not gratuitous, I want to say, but there's like always this sex scene, because a kind of unnecessary sex scene in these books, but it's over pretty quickly. And I do love the journey that the main character goes on with this. I love the kind of mystery that was happening. I was much more engaged in this book than I was Shadow of the Wind. So I definitely think if you've only read Shadow of the Wind, continue the series because it's really good. Again, another huge surprise. This is a book I've owned for a very long time, but that is The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. And I gave this one also 4 stars. This was a huge surprise, and I feel like if you are a fan of like Tamora Pierce, who also blurbed this, I think. Yeah, she did blurb this. Or Shannon Hale or any of them, I think you will like this book a lot. It's very interesting. This magic system is so intriguing. The stakes are so high in this. I love the journey. The reason I took away 1 star is there is the character of, is it Ven, who is kind of the mentor character. He's the other POV of our main character, and he frustrated me to no end. Like, boy, he's in a relationship with another character, and I just wanted to smack him because that character is corrupted as hell, and he needs to like realize that and just let it go, dude. Let it go. Just do your own thing, okay? I'm glad that in the POVs, they're not the relationship. They are strictly like a mentor and student relationship, which I really, really liked. And it all felt very nice and healthy. And even there is romances, obviously, for both of those characters. Not obviously, but there is. And I thought those were also very well done romances that were healthy, and they don't necessarily end the way you think they will, but there are 2 more books in this series, and I'm very excited to continue them. But yeah, this was just a surprise. I thought this was going to be just kind of a standard, you know, slightly older YA book with that sort of feel, but this was really, really good. So I like it. This is definitely a book I'm like, Hala, you need to read this one. You'd like this one. We have come to another 5-star read. I was obsessed with this book, and that is In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I didn't know I would be so obsessed. I didn't think there was going to be a book that would beat Cerulean Sea between TJ Klune books. I love this more than Cerulean Sea. Oh my gosh, the robots in this are so fun. Nurse Ratched and Rambo, I just need like graphic novels of their adventures, okay? I just need them. I loved every single character in this, but Nurse Ratched and Rambo are so fun, and I just want to cuddle Rambo so much. He deserves all the cuddles. He's a little like old Roomba, basically, and Nurse Ratched is a medical droid. This is in a civilization where robots and AI has taken over and there's no more humans left except our one boy. This is a kind of a retelling of Pinocchio, where our Pinocchio is already a real boy, but he's surrounded by robots. And it's fantastic. I also Ace Rep with a romantic ace, not an arrow ace, which I didn't know going in, because I know TJ Klune writes queer reads. I thought this was just going to be like a male-male romance. But it is male-male romance, but it's also ace romance, and I love that. Thank you. Especially that because aces, we get called robots all the time. And so for the main character, who is literally not a robot, is Ace, is just fantastic. And the fact that he is very romantic. Well, not very romantic, but he gets romance. He gets to be in a relationship. I love that. I love that. Ah! Yeah. I made my boss immediately read this. That's what my boss and I, we talk books a lot, and I just constantly am making him read things. So there you go. Getting there. We're getting there. A disappointment. Gave this 2.5. I liked the first third of this. I'm really disappointed because it is Battle of the Linguist Mages. I am a linguist. I don't think Scott O'Moore has a linguistics degree or really understands linguistics. This is kind of if you wanted Ready Player One, but wanted the game in Ready Player One, the Oasis, to be created by Scientology, that's kind of what you get with this book. It's this game called Sparkle Dungeon, and you play with morphemes and stuff, and it's like, that would be fun, but they never actually talk about the morphemes. They just say they're morphemes. And then they talk about these power morphemes, which are created from this kind of alien race of punctuation. And this is where it really lost me, because punctuation is not spoken, so that's a written language thing, but everything is based on speaking here, which annoyed me. Like, one character is possessed by the Interrobang, which was funny. I'll give it that. It was very funny. The Interrobang is very vengeful and fun, but it wasn't linguistics. This is not linguistics. If we wanted to study language like punctuation, especially the punctuation that is mentioned in here, like, that's very Anglo-Saxon. It's based on English. Most of this is based on English, which completely disregards all language and what the study of linguistics is and how language develops and things. And it didn't give me the linguistics that I wanted to. I wanted video game Babel. That's what I wanted, and I didn't get that with this. So I'm quite disappointed. If you're a linguist and you saw this book and you're like, ooh, linguist magic, that sounds fun. Don't. You're gonna get mad. You're gonna get mad because a lot of the information in here is wrong. It's wrong. I guess Scott O'Moore is like a playwright, and this is also based on like some of his plays. Now granted, visually this would be very fun to see, but I don't think it should be called Battle of the Linguist Mages. I think you should leave this out of there entirely, and we would have had a much more fun time, more theme time. Okay, then we did finish the TBR. We have 2 more books after this though. We finished the official TBR with This Vicious Cure by Emily Suvada. This is the conclusion to This Mortal Coil trilogy, and I did enjoy this. I do think I like probably the first book the best out of these. I did think the twists and turns in this were very nice, but it took me so long to remember stuff that happened in the first book. I didn't remember, and I was very confused because there is this sort of situation where there are 2 characters sharing the same body, and I was very confused as to how they were in 2 places at once, and then I remembered how that was working, and it took me, like, literally I did not get it until like 80% into the book did I remember this is how this is working. I did like how it ended though, in a very healthy way for a lot of characters. Even though it's not like the swoony happy ending that I usually love in a lot of books, I loved how these characters kind of ended up. It did shock me with a lot of fun twists and some deaths and stuff, but it's a very fun series. It's a very interesting dystopian series dealing with like a pandemic, but also dealing with coding and genetics and stuff. I thought the science in here was a lot more interesting than the science we got in like Battle of Linguist Mages. So yes, there we are. The next 2 books were both ARC ebooks, sort of. One of them's really a Google Doc, but the first one we read is Daybreak Sentinel by Kendra Merritt, and this is the sequel to Surviving Daybreak, which I read earlier this year and absolutely loved, and I absolutely love this one as well. We get a new character, there's a new person that we find, and Annika is still struggling to survive. I mean, she's not struggling so much anymore. There's still a lot of struggles, but she's surviving a lot. She meets this adorable guy named Ren, and the only gripe, I have one gripe. Okay, because again, Annika is ace. Annika is fully arrow ace though, which is fine. And it did do the scene where the other person calls her a robot, and that's traumatic and like, whoa, buddy! And he apologizes and realized how wrong it was, given especially the circumstances with his situation. You'll see. But what I would have liked, again, is the conversation that being ace does not preclude you from having a relationship. So even though Annika is arrow ace, I would have liked it because what they talk about, the other character is like, oh, you're ace. And I would have liked them to just mention like, yes, I'm ace. That's not true for all aces, that we don't like fall in love and stuff. But for her, which honestly, I would have liked her to have a revelation because she is in love with him, or she does at least love him as a really, really close best friend, is very, you know, terrified to lose him and stuff. But I think it would have been more impactful if Annika even had the self-realization that just because I'm ace doesn't mean I can't fall in love. And I'm definitely in love with this person. So I would have loved that connection more so than just like everything's platonic, because he has to add like I love you platonically after like every sentence, and it's kind of a running joke that I thought maybe we would continue that joke and then flip it and be like I love you romantically, and that would have been fun. It would have been a fun twist to it, just showing that aces, like in The Lives of Puppets did it, we have an ace who's in a relationship, and I just want to see more of that representation in media where aces are in healthy loving relationships even if they are ace. That's my one gripe. But overall, freaking love this. I love the new creatures that we got. I love the discussion about PTSD that we got, because what happened in Surviving Daybreak is very traumatic for Annika, and I loved the discussions and the narrative that happened in Daybreak Sentinel. Just fantastic, and I loved that. So yes, love that. 5 stars though. Then we finally read Olive Grave of Brothers by Hala. It's coming out later this year, but I finished reading I'm kind of the alpha reader of this, and I'm very satisfied with this book and with this trilogy in general. It's a rocky ride. It's a wild ride. Again, Hala keeps saying it, no one is safe, and that is so true. It will rip out your heart. It has such a, there's a really good kind of arc for a lot of these characters. I really like that we got a new POV in this as well. The first two books are Sparrow and Rome. We add Jenny to the POVs, and I thought that was a very smart move. It's a very necessary addition to the POVs, to the story. The villain is incredibly terrifying, and whoo boy, it's scary times. But for a lot of characters, their arcs finished out very smoothly and very nicely. So yes, can't wait for it to come out and to show you guys like the cover and everything coming soon. Haha! All right, that is the books that I read. Let's quickly go over the stats to the data. We read 19 books, which totaled us to only 8,035 pages. Like I said, we read shorter, well, we read less than the previous months. Is this my shortest page count though? No, April still is. April's my smallest page count, I think. No, it's not. January is my smallest page count with 7,000. Not too bad. Not too bad. We listened to 173 hours of audiobook. We read 4 indies, very proud of that, but we didn't get any own voices, sort of. We started 3 series, we continued 7 series, and completed 3 series. I'm finally like getting books done, getting series done. On average, we were reading 422.89 pages. These were big babies. Again, this is really skewed. Not really skewed because Realmbreaker is pretty huge too. Battle of Linguistics Mages is pretty big, but you know, it's almost a 900-page book with Day of Fallen Night. Per day, I was reading about 267.83 pages a day, listening to 9.11 hours of audiobook on average. It took me about 3.47 days to read a book, which is slower than what I've been doing. And then my average rating was 3.89, so not too bad. I think that actually is my highest. That's my highest. We've had the best reading month so far. This has been the best reading month thus far with audiobooks. Again, dominating. We read 11 audiobooks, 3 ebooks, which is insane, 2 paperbacks, and 3 hardcovers. Predominantly listening to audiobooks on Libby. We did do 3 on Scribd, and 1 was a special edition. 1 we paid on Kindle. Unfortunately, I paid for that book, Beware the Violet. And then 2 author PDFs, which were the 2 ARCs. Adult and young adult, we finally, young adult has taken over with 10 young adult and 9 adult this month. In terms of genre breakdown, fantasy romance still being in first place, but following with, is that high fantasy following, and then sci-fi romance following close behind there. With our average ratings, again, 4 stars is tend to where I land on most books. We have a couple 4.5s, we have 3 4.5s, we had 3 5 stars, 1 1 star, 1 2.5, and 1 3 star. Everything else pretty darn good. 16 of these books were novels, 2 of them were graphic novels, and 1 was a novella. No debut authors this month. 13 of these books were repeat authors, and 6 of them were new to me. We had 5 books with queer main characters, 3 with queer side characters, 9 were queer absent, unfortunately. 4 with a disabled main character, 1 with a disabled side character, but 14 of them did not feature a disabled character. Mostly predominantly women this month, with 14 women writers and 5 male writers. Character gender wise, we had mostly women and men and women. I think we had the same. Yeah, 8 women, 8 men and women POVs, and only 3 that were strictly male POVs. With nationalities, again, predominantly American. We had a couple, 2 from New Zealand, 2 from Australia, 1 Greek, 2 British, and then 1 Spanish. With our settings, predominantly in fictional lands this time, with the US being behind that. We had 2 in space, 1 in India, 1 in England, and 4 in the United States. Where's my next one? What are you? Oh, Spain, duh, 1 in Spain. Angel's Game. With publishers, ooh, it's a tie this month between Penguin and HarperCollins, with Self Pub and Macmillan close behind. 1 Simon & Schuster, they're creeping along. And then 1 small press, which was Daybreak Sentinel, because Kendra Merritt is a small press with Blue Fire Press. With their publication year, we read 5 that were 2023. We read the most new releases this year. Again, arcs are a thing. 2 from 2022, 3 from 2021, 3 from 2020, 2 that were between 2015 and 2019, 1 from 2010, 2 from 2000 to 2009, and 1 from the 1900s to 1989, which was Princess Bride. So it was 1973, I want to say. Acquisition year, again, this year is winning right now with 2023. We had 9 books that I acquired this year, 4 that I acquired last year, 2 I acquired in 2021, and 4 I acquired in 2020. Where I got them from was, again, predominantly book outlet, but Amazon and Gifted were very close behind at 3. Direct from author and Second and Charles with 2, and everybody else, Fairy Loot, Owl Crate, Pango, and Facebook with 1. In total, we did $143.90 of the books that I acquired here, which averaged them to $7.75 or $7.57 per book, which is the cheapest month I've had thus far. No, it's not. Dang, it almost is. February. February is my cheapest month thus far. So close. So close to being the cheapest month, but it's been the cheapest month in a hot second. So there you go. All right, and now it's time to go over to the haul. Take it away, Haul Hugh. Hi all, it's time for the haul portion of this video as Discord goes off because I'm in a readathon now. We acquired some books. We sure did. These are in no specific order because I did have to arrange them in order to do the July TBR, so they've just been pulled back off and they're just randomized. So let's get to it. The first book that we acquired, the first book we're going to talk about is The Depths by Nicole Lesperance. This was sent to me very kindly by Snazzy. Snazzy actually has 2 books in here that was sent to me. So thank you, Snazzy. You continue to fuel my book collecting addiction. Thank you. Have A Million Junes by Emily Henry. I got this in trade at Second and Charles. We got My Cat's Guide to Online Dating by Christopher Baines, which we got at Pride. We have finally a copy of Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I got this at Target because I saw it and I'm like, I need it. We have The City of Lost Fortunes by Brian Camp. I got this for free off of Pango. We have Happy Place by Emily Henry, which my dad actually bought for me during his birthday because he took us all book shopping and I went, I'll take that. We also have The Sacrifice by Rin Chupeco, which I got at Barnes & Noble, I think. There was a sale. Here's the other snazzy book. We have The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. Very excited. It's so pretty too. So shiny and like very, very pretty, and I love the cover underneath. It's just so nice. Snazzy's just like the best. We have The Surviving Sky by Kritika H. Rao, which I believe, my mom and I went shopping together and I don't know who bought what, but there it is. My mom got me this one, and that is Witch King by Martha Wells. We then, off of Pango, got City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaefer. My mom also bought me The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Yes, I can finally read the Kylo Ren fanfic that everyone's talking about, and I'll finally get to know what's the big deal with Ali Hazelwood. From Pango, we also got How to Mars by David Ebenbach. I've been looking for this book for a while now, so I'm glad I finally got a copy. Also from Barnes & Noble, I think my mom might have bought this one, or I did, I don't remember. But that's Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed. We also have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Pango, we got Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. We have Infinity Gate by M.R. Carey, which I'm actually reading this month. We also have Loki's Ring by Stina Liked? I don't know. We have Out of the Blue by Jason June. These next ones, a couple of them I got from a Facebook marketplace thing where I got a bunch of books for free. And these weren't on my TBR, but I put them because it was like a bundle of books. And I didn't know that Julie Andrews wrote books as Julie Edwards, but we have Mandy by Julie Andrews, and it's like a really old copy of it. It's like, it's not the first edition, but it's like the second. So that's kind of fun. And then we also have, believe it or not, I've never read Artemis Fowl by Ian Colfer. I don't know, or is it Ian? It's Ian Colfer, I believe. It's Irish. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I've never read Artemis Fowl, so we're gonna try to read Artemis Fowl, I guess. We then also from Amazon. I got these in a deal on Amazon. We have The Confession of Fitzwilliam Darcy by Mary Street. Good old Pride and Prejudice retelling. Speaking of sort of Regency retellings, we have Scales and Sensibility by Stephanie Burgess. This is an indie book that I was really looking into and thought that would be really fun. One of my pre-orders that I won in my Easter egg hunt arrived, and that is The Archive Undying by Emma Mieko Candon. I'm very excited about that. From Pango, we got Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. I'm so good at this. Through an Amazon fiasco, they sent me a copy of this book, and that book arrived like with the cover completely scratched and stuff, and that was weird because it was a new copy. But we're gonna continue the good old Scum Villain Self-Saving System Volume 2. My boss bought me a book because he read it, and I had recommended the book even though I hadn't read it yet, but I'd heard really good things about it, and he's like, you have to read it. So we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. My dad also got me during his birthday Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angeline Booley. This is her newest book. I still haven't read Firekeeper's Daughter. It's on the shelves. Another pre-order arrived, and that is Some Shall Break by Ellie Marney. This is the sequel to None Shall Sleep, one of my all-time favorite kind of thriller slasher stories. It's like a Silence of the Lambs YA retelling, and it's fantastic, and the audiobook is so fun. We have Ink Blood Sister Scribe from Emma Torres, also from Pengu. And With My Mom, I think I bought this one actually, I'm not sure. We have Deep as the Sky, Red as the Seas by Rita Chang Epig. And that's the haul. I didn't do as bad as I usually do. I did okay. A lot of these were gifted to me, so that's pretty dope. Thanks, everybody. I think by the time this video comes out, it's already been my birthday, but if you ever want to buy me a book, you can! Link in description! Now, back to the rest of this video. Bye! We gotta talk about this quarter. I'm not gonna go into all the goals. I did achieve one of my 23 of 2023, and that was going to Pride. If you haven't seen the video yet, go check it out. We read 2 of the 23 of 2023s this month. And we did we read a self-destruct? We did not read a bomb book. We did not read a bomb book this month. Cauldron Prompts. I only completed 6 of the 8. So I did Fun on the Town. We did Double My May TBR. We did the bookstore crawl, we did the Second and Charles challenge, we did a puppy day, and we did a purge. I did not get to the parody video. It's still in the works, but I didn't have time this month to film and record that. And I'm partially through the latch hook. I'm still working on it. It just takes a while, and I have so much going on that I don't have a lot of time to sit and do a latch hook. I will continue to do them. So we need to pick the next 8 Cauldron Prompts. What can we attempt to achieve this month? Again, these Cauldron Prompts are not definite I have to do. They're just kind of, if I have time, I can try to do them as well as the 23 or 2023. These are like mini goals, aside from the actual mini goals that I do have, which Reading Graver Brothers completed a mini goal like that. So the very first one is to TikTok every day. Oh boy, we gotta figure out what month we're doing that in. Good thing I'm filming this on July 1st right now, by the way. Oh, I have to plot outline an entire book. Oh, you can't see that at all. Focus. Plot outline an entire book, which I do need to do if I'm gonna do the first drafts of Perfectly Respectable Vagabonds or Acing It, which I'm doing kind of a rewrite of Acing It. So we could do that. Oh boy. I've actually been meaning to do this. Redecorate or rearrange. I have been wanting to rearrange. I don't know the best means of doing so, but we'll see. We then have, okay, a workout challenge. I'm technically doing this already, so I'll just continue it, but I bought an infinity hoop. And I've been doing 30 minutes of it every single day. Now I started it in June because I was getting used to it, so we can do that. We can do a workout challenge every single day in July. We're already on it. Oh man, we gotta do a literary recipe. I used to do this, if you know, I used to run my own literarily baking little cooking show. I haven't done it in a while because I don't have a great setup here. I had a better setup at my sister's, or the condo that I shared with my sister back in the day. That was a better setup for cooking videos, but All right, put in the comments what literary book, what book do you want me to take and make a recipe for? The Tattered Cover Challenge. Again, ideas for Tattered Cover Challenge. We did the Second and Charles Challenge, so I could do something similar, or we do something different in Tattered Cover, but some kind of challenge involving Tattered Cover. Honestly, the biggest challenge is going to Tattered Cover when they're freaking open and selling books. The last 2 times I've tried to go and buy books, they have been completely closed in the middle of the day for no reason on Independent Bookstore Day. And then they literally were like, we can't sell any books because we only have the cafe open. So that's the challenge in itself. I'm running out of prompts here. A throwback. We're probably gonna do some reactions to some old videos, or a throwback, or we'll do a video that I like used to do and haven't done in a long time. So if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, let me know what you would like. Last Cauldron prompt for this month is a game night. Me and my friends hosting a game night. Ooh, how many prompts are left? We might need to put more in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to put prompts back in. We only have 6 prompts. Am I just missing 2? We might need to add 2 more prompts to this so that we have Cauldron prompts for round 4, for quarter 4. But there they are. Oh, we got to roll. We got to see. I have my 3-sided die here. I'm just going to roll it as is because you're sitting on the dice tower to see when we have to TikTok every single day. 2. So not until August. I mean, I'll be TikToking a lot because I'll be promoting my Kickstarter, which in theory might be live right now. I'm filming this pretty early, but my Kickstarter might be live for Hisphacac. If it is, go check out the link in the description and go back to Kickstarter for Humane Society for Creatures and Cryptids. Yay, let's make a book possible. Da, 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 da. We'll see what else we can continue complete this quarter. Hopefully we really start cracking down on a lot of these 23 of 2023 goals, because I've only done like, what, 4? How many of the goals have I fully accomplished? Which I'm really mad because we got a new phone and my phone is broken now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we've only done 4 of the 23 of 2023 goals. Let me know how your June reading went. What are you doing this next quarter? Are you doing any readathons? I'm doing the Hunger Games readathon right now, which is super fun. And it's just very motivating because there's a ton of prompts and you can pick and choose which prompts, obviously. And we have a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot with the publishing. Obviously, the Kickstarter is going and it's probably stressing me out. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go now. Links are all in the description. Bye. This is the secret. I forgot one. Hold on, I forgot one. Hope you guys liked my butt there. My downstairs neighbor is blaring his bass. I don't know if you guys can hear it.